You ready to be a podcast puppy? You're not going to be in the video anymore because I moved where I moved to where you are. You're over there. You're behind the camera. Right? Are you my director? Are you my director? Yes, you're the director. Yes, Rosie, you're the director. You're the director now. You're the production crew. Production crew of one. Hello, welcome back to Knitway, the Anxiety Podcast. My name is Marissa, and I'm your not so anxious little host today. I'm on a very major time crunch today, so things might be a little bit faster than normal. I will try to keep my words coherent so you understand what I'm saying. Date of recording is Saturday, August 1st. It's about 10:30 in the morning. It is a wonderful overcast day here in the Pacific Northwest, which is a little bit concerning considering how hot it's been. I have a feeling that the coming week is going to be really, really hot, which will really suck for the garden, but we'll get into that later. I've got 3 FOs, 3 whips, and 3 future cast on plans. I've got acquisitions and stash changes, and we'll go into the weight loss, anxiety, and life stuff at the end with a content warning as usual for those of you who are not into that kind of thing, which is totally fine. Please be sure to like and subscribe, leave me a comment down below where you're located, what your stash is doing, if you're keeping track of your stash down, if you're stashing down at all. I'd love to interact with you guys down in the comments, so please leave me a comment. I want to communicate with you. I want to talk to you guys. But we will go ahead and get started. We'll start with our FOs here. All of my FOs are socks, which, if you remember from last episode, means I succeeded in catching up in the 26 pairs in 2026 challenge that is being hosted by Exterminate on Instagram. I'm not using sock blockers for any of these because there's too many pairs of socks to put blockers on. So we will be just holding them up for the camera to see. So these first ones, this is pair 13 out of 26, and these were done in Patons Kroy Blue Raspberry with a contrast heel in the color Saltwater. These ones. These are a self-patterning stripy sock. They are extremely thick. Like, this heel is super, super thick. These are very much like the rustic, woolly kind of socks you wear during the depths of winter when it's really freaking cold and your house just refuses to get warm for whatever reason. Or if you're going, these would be great for boots, really great for boots. I'm not a boots person, but if I was, I would wear these. And like all of my socks, I knit them on a US 1 or 2.25 millimeter needle, Chowgu red lace stainless steel with the extra pointy tips. I knit my socks 2 at a time on 2 circular needles, which I'll show you later in one of my whips. I do, for my own recipe that fits my foot, I do 15 rounds of 2x2 rib in the cuff. I think it's 40 rows for the leg. And then I do my heel flap, and I actually do 20 repeats for my slip stitch heel flap instead of the standard 18 or something that you normally do. Oh, I cast on 64 stitches. I totally forgot that part. Typically for a 64 stitch sock, you will only do 18 repeats of the knit slip knit all the way back, or purl all the way back, for a slip stitch heel flap. I have a high instep, so does my husband, so I actually extend the heel flap by 2 repeats. That does mean that my gusset is a bit longer than most people, and it doesn't stop at the outside of my foot. It kind of curls under my foot. But I have found, because of the high instep, that fits really, really well when I extend the heel flap and therefore extend the gusset. And then the other thing that I do, I don't think I've ever talked this in depth about my socks before, but I do this every time. Whenever I do a sock in general, this is my guideline. And I think I do not include the gusset rows in my foot length before I start the toe. I start counting my foot rows after the gusset is complete. So that's for my foot is typically about 35 rows. So if you were to include the gusset, it would be probably 70 to 75, which is pretty normal for a size 9.5, 10 US foot. The other thing that I do is I do a anatomical heel. So you notice that it's decrease, and then a rapid decrease at the very top. I do this again for the fit purposes. I do this for every pair of socks that I make. So this one also slopes this way. Because one of the things that really peeved me about the socks I made early on was that the standard matching decrease rate on both sides did not fit my toes very well, and I'm a bit neurospicy, as you guys know, and if it doesn't fit my foot, I don't want to wear it. Even more so for my husband. My husband is even more neurospicy than me and has a lot of sensory problems, and if I do not have it perfectly snug to the shaping of his toes, he will not wear the socks. That just breaks my heart. So, and I'm all about making sure my socks are like fit really well, hence high instep and the anatomical heel, or the anatomical toe. I don't use like a normal pattern for these. Obviously, it's my own recipe, but the toe that I use is from the Plant Parent by Emily O'Brien, which I think is over here somewhere. Yeah, I use the like kind of decreasing methodology that she uses for her toes, and that it works really great for me. So, yeah, so that is pair number 13 of 26. And then pair number 14, same methodology, same number of stitches and all of that. That's how I do like all my socks. These were knit out of Knit Picks Felici in General Store with a contrast heel in Cascade Heritage Silver Gray. These are very light. Oh, that lighting is definitely helping out with the colors. I love that. That's very accurate. Love it. What is that? That's a fuzzy. Yeah, so these are General Store. That's pair 14 of 26. And then pair 15, which has not been washed yet, so it's a bit, you might see some of the dog hair or something on it. These are, again, Knit Picks Felici, but this is the color Frankie, and I used a scrap yarn for the heel flap. It's Dragon Hoard Yarns Lore Sock Base in the color Kai River. These are insanely bright. I'm not a bright person. I'm literally wearing a metal band t-shirt. Like, I'm not a brights person unless it's my socks. Socks is like the only space where I'm like, okay, I'll do all the brights. Or if it's like this, like if it's a bright blue, then it's fine. But bright pinks and yellow is not me unless it's on my feet. That's the only place you will ever catch that color on me is on my feet. But yeah, I finished these literally 4 days ago. Yeah, because today's Saturday. I finished these on Tuesday, or was it Monday? Whatever. I finished them 4 or 5 days ago and started the next pair of socks. So, but yeah, so that is all of the FOs, all 3 pairs of socks. So here's my sock pile. I have a little sock pile, guys. I'm so proud of myself. Like, it was literally 3 straight weeks of just sock knitting to get caught up. And now I'm like actually caught up. I have a week to finish my current pair of socks, and then I'm back on track and can just continue to make a pair every 2 weeks for the challenge I talked about. It's actually been really cool to do the challenge because I've never successfully done a challenge before, and with the completion of these ones, I'm well over halfway done. Like, I literally have 11 pairs more to do, 11 more pairs to do, which is kind of insane to think about, because when I think about it, it's like that means in doing this challenge, I will be removing 26 skeins or socks, like because like if it's Felici, it's 2 balls or whatever, but like all the other yarns are 1, maybe 2 50-gram skeins, but like the fact that I'm removing essentially 2,600 grams of yarn from my active stash is kind of insane for me, considering I'm trying to do a stash down. Like, that's nuts. But yeah, that's enough about those. Oh my god, I'm really happy about my socks, guys. I'm very, very happy about them. Okay, I'm gonna get into whips now. The first one, and I'm gonna need to move my marker after I show you how far I got. And I might need an extender because it's a little scrunched. Oh well. Don't don't lose the needle. Don't lose the stitches. So you may recall I was working on 3 of 4 baby blankets. Here is the progress on baby blanket number 3. For context, I was all the way down here last episode. You can't really see anything. Like, it was right there. There's the little tiny marker. I did all of this. As you can see from this edge, this is the edge where all of the yarns are, all the ends are, which I will have to weave in at some point. I'm avoiding that right now. But I have officially gotten to the point where I am going to begin working the other side of the blanket, like the other corner. So there's this corner here. I have now begun the process of working the other corner. So this is the Shifted Chevron by Theresa Bandy. So it's got the one chevron along this side, and then it just goes as an angle. Everything's like kind of a corner to corner-ness with the other side. I think currently at its bottom, it's 35 or 36 inches. And that's about as wide as I want it to be. And I'm going to try and make it about 40 inches tall. So I've got a couple of inches to add in terms of height, and then I can begin to do the filling in the corners. So that, and I'm doing that out of, what yarns am I using? Get my notes out here. So for this one, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver in the color Pale Plum, Lion Brand Pound of Love in the color Thistle, Loops and Threads Impeccable in Amethyst and Lavender, and then Paintbox Simply Aran in Slate Gray. So if I pull this out, let me see here. This is the Thistle color. This is Amethyst. This is Lavender. This is the Gray, obviously, and this is the Pale Plum. This is obviously a baby blanket for a little girl. One of my coworkers, hopefully for the time being, last of the coworkers who are having kids. And I don't know if I said it last time, but this one is like extra special because my coworker's grandma has dementia and can no longer knit blankets, but apparently she's knit baby blankets for everyone in the family. And it means a lot to him that I wanted to make a blanket for him and his wife for their little girl. So it's extra special and will be very appreciated because that coworker is very knitworthy. He's a very good guy, and his wife is wonderful. But yeah, so that is the Shifted Chevron. So that is the only whip carrying over from last episode. These other two are completely new. And I'm of course still have things on needles. Okay, phew. I did not just pull the stitches off the needle. Jesus Christ, that would have scared the hell out of me. I just pulled the spare needle out. Okay. So this was very much an impulse cast on. This was not in the plan at all. I may or may not have started a Cozy Memories blanket. Yeah, I started a Cozy Memories and it's very, very big. And I went back and that little marker is the 10 of 20. So mine is 20 squares wide. It's literally arm width. So when this is done, I will be drowning in blanket. Yeah, so it's full of all the sock yarns that I've ever I literally went through my Ravelry projects, and in the sequence in which I finished all of the fingering and light fingering weight projects, I put them in. So, and I only have like little bits and bobs of some of them, so that's why there's so many that are like this, where it's like there's one then another, or like you have like this one right here, and it's actually like all the yarns that were in that project are in this square. That was my first like fancy yarn square. So it's then there's like you have this one, which was my first design that I never published. Like there's like all the like especially here at the end, there's like all these yarns that are like very much the when I was doing HP yarn for family members. So it was like this one was for the socks made by my sister-in-law. This one was for my brother's hat. This one was my brother's sock, was my husband's socks. So, and then you got like I'm putting in like the Felici and Felicini and um like any like sock yarn cowls or anything I've made. Like this one's like a sock yarn cowl and a sock pair of socks for my dad. And it's yeah, there's a lot of like all like I'm putting in Patons Kroy or like this one is the remainders of my Sorella like minis and scraps blankets. Like this is all that remains of that blanket is these like 3 or 4 yarns that I put into that one square, which I faded that wonderfully. Oh my god, that looks so good on camera. Yeah, but then there's like ones like this where it's like this is all that remains of those 2 yarns, even though they're 2 separate projects, or like this one was all that remains of one project and things like that. So mine is 20 squares wide. I will be doing probably 25 rows for a total of 500 squares, which is a lot. Oh my god, it's a lot of squares. Um I I don't I like my hope is that I'm gonna get like all the squares that I'm able to get in right now by next episode. I only have about 35 projects that I can put into it at the moment, and I'm currently working on I think number 25. Yeah, this is number 25, this square. And I'm not a DPN person. You guys know this. I hate DPNs. But I purposely got myself a pack of Knit Pro Zing double point needles in the size US 2 or 2.75 millimeters. Because trying to do this with a circular needle, even the 16-inch circular, was really bothering my hands. I didn't, just the logistics of it really bothered me. So I purposely purchased a pack of the Zings so that I had those for making my squares. And now I have, 3 other needles. So if I decide out of nowhere to make that Felici jelly roll blanket I've had in the back of my brain forever, I could totally freaking do that too. I keep everything in this all knit up designs bag that I got at a local festival last year. It's a massive freaking bag. You can fit a whole sweater in this bag if you wanted to. And then within that bag, I have a smaller bag. This is God, I don't remember who made this bag. Who made this? This is My Needle Crafts made this little bag. I have a slightly larger one. This is meant to be more of a notions pouch. And inside of it, I keep the extra needles as well as the next 5 to 10 balls that are going to go into the blanket. And I'm typically weighing, like right now, because I'm pulling everything from my scrap stash, I'm not actively putting any new yarns. Like I'm not, like the ones I'm going to use for this next pair of socks, that it will be manually added after, so I won't be weighing out or balling it up. But I weighed out each of these balls to be about 4 grams. Oops, there it goes. Yeah, to be about 4 grams, because that's about 4 to 5 grams is about how much my squares take. My squares are the pattern 23 stitches, but I do have the slipped purlwise with yarn in front selvage edge for making it easier to pick up the stitches once I'm done, like once I'm making a new square. And I also have a little magic knot ball of all the little teeny tiny little bits that are left over after completing the square, which is normally like maybe a yard or something. But this is my first true like not scrappy knot ball, and it's that big already after 25 squares. Like that's pretty big. It just lives in the bag. But yeah, so this will be an ongoing for who knows how effing long project. Um I'm really enjoying it. Like it's a really good. It takes me 45 minutes to an hour based on depending on how distracted by television I am to do each square. So I'm really enjoying it. Like I don't hate it. It's a really nice little, oh, I want to do knitting, but I don't want to do like a whole massive project kind of thing. So I have that now. I have my own little cozy memories blanket, and there is going to be, I will easily be able to put all of these yarns into this blanket. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's, I think 500 yarns. I think. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know, honestly. Honestly, I don't know. I don't actually know how many. Like if I think about my Ravelry entries, I've got like 300 some Ravelry entries, but that's like multiple skeins per entry for some of them, and they're not all fingering weight, so I don't know. I mean, I anticipate I will be working on this blanket for at least the next 2 to 3 years minimum. So we will see how that goes. But that's my cozy memories by, oh, that's the coziest memory blanket by Kemper Wray is the pattern. Totally forgot that part. Sorry. And the last whip is my pair number 26, or not 26. Oh my lord, no. Pair number 16 of 26 for the sock knitting challenge I'm doing this year. And all I have is little cuffs. I just have cuffs. That's it. That's it. So this is what I mean when I was saying earlier, I do them 2 at a time on 2 circular needles. I keep the balls attached, and when it gets time to do the heel flap, I remove them and put them on a 30-inch, yeah, a 30-inch circular needle, and do the heel flap, turn, and the gusset on magic loop. And then I put it back on the 2 circulars, take the other one off, do the same thing, and then once the gusset's done and I'm ready to continue doing the foot and the toe, that's when they come back together. So 2/3 of my socks are done like this. The other third is on magic looped. And that's just easier for me because trying to do heel flap, turn, gusset on 2 circulars is really a lot of needle management. It's very frustrating. So I tried to do it in the beginning. It was just because of how much I have to move the stitches around, doing it on magic loop is just way easier for me. I also this way prevent myself from getting second sock syndrome, which is great. And this is the Knit Picks Felici color board shorts is the color we're doing today. I'm doing right now this week. These ones should be done next week. I really like this color. That's really pretty. Ooh, nice focus. Good job, camera. Focus back. Yeah. Good camera. But yeah, so those are the 26. I keep wanting to say 26, guys. Jeez. That's pair 16. 16 or 26. And this is my Bags by Awesome Granny Bigfoot bag my husband got me for anniversary last year. It's now my designated sock bag. I used to use my Anomalous Mind Panda bag for all my socks. That's my backup sock bag. It lives with an extra pair of needles in here in the closet with all my other stuff. This one's my designated, like, this is my, if I'm working on socks for me, it's in this bag. But I have the secondary bag if I decide I want to do 2 socks at once, which I normally don't do unless it's like for my husband. I think I've done that once, but yeah, rambling. Gonna kind of speed through this last bit, because I really am on a major time crunch. I need to leave. I'm supposed to leave literally half an hour ago. Yeah, I've been at this for half an hour already. Okay, so talk future cast-ons here for a momento. So got the yarns for the next 2 pairs of socks, which will likely be done or at least be in progress by next episode. So they're based on the yarns I pulled out, or the list I have. Next ones will be these 2 from Knit Picks Felici. So Santorini and oh my god, what is this one? Beach Cruiser is the next one after Santorini. I think the Santorini ones will be for my husband, maybe. If he doesn't want them, they will definitely be for me. I will happily take them. But there is a possibility that either of these yarns might get pulled by my sister-in-law next weekend, which we'll talk about later. And then obviously baby blanket number 4. my sister-in-law and my brother are coming over next weekend. My sister-in-law will be perusing the yarn wall and the yarn that's other places as well. And that's why I said that these ones may get taken up for that. She may decide she wants this for her little boy. I don't know. But I will likely finish this pair of socks and I will wait to start any until after she's decided what color she wants, just in case, which is totally fine. And then I have it in my head that I really want to make a ranunculus. I don't know why. I just like I keep seeing every once in a while a like worsted weight freaking ranunculus, and the design looks so nice in worsted weight that I'm like, I could do that. I know I can. Like I know I have the skill set to do a ranunculus. It's just been a very long time since I made a sweater like that. Like the last sweater I made was this one. Like I haven't made a actual like wear it to work kind of sweater in a long time. But if I do decide to make the ranunculus, I will be doing it out of this, which is Karen Blossom Cakes in the color Charcoal. And this is a 61% cotton, 39% acrylic. And it's like a, let me see if I can show you this. It's like a chainette yarn. See, it's chainette. Can you see that? Yeah, you can kind of see that. It's like, you can see like in here, it's chainette. It's the only chainette yarn that I own. But it being, you know, cotton, like mostly cotton, that's kind of what's driving me to want to use it for a ranunculus, so I could have that, you know, like nice, light, cottony sweater to wear to the office. So yeah, so that is a perspective cast on that might occur, might not, I don't know. Now we're getting into stash and acquisition changes. Get my notebook here. Number of grams, you'll notice nothing came in. Nothing at all. Nothing has come in. My July Yarnaceous Yarn of the Month is getting delivered today, but because it is after recording, it will not get counted. It'll get counted for August, which is fine. So I have 0 in for the month of July. And then the 3 pairs of socks that I finished total up to 218 grams. So I have negative 218 grams for the month, which is awesome, considering what the next month is going to be a lot. Next month's going to be a lot of yarn, guys. I made purchases. Oops. It's not that much. It's really not. It's a bundle. So it's a lot at once kind of thing. So yeah, it's a lot. That's literally it for stash and acquisitions. There were no acquisitions and stash is down by 218 grams. Woohoo, go me. Okay, so content warning, we're going to start talking about the weight loss, anxiety, and life mental health stuff. So if that's not your jam, totally fine. I will see you next week. Please be sure to leave me a like and comment. I want to know what you're working on. But for those of you that stay, hi, welcome to the can't really be very long portion of the video because I have my time crunch. But so we'll start with the weight loss. I think I mentioned last episode that my doctor was going to move me to a GLP-1, so I have started that. I did my 4th injection this past Thursday, 4 days ago. And I've gotten into the habit of I do the injection at night, ideally before or around dinner time, and I weigh myself that morning to see how much has changed between shots. And from shot 1 to shot 4, I had lost 6.5 pounds. 6.5 pounds in basically 3 weeks. Which means I'm averaging around 2 pounds, which is totally normal, healthy. It's a little bit rapid, but it's pretty, like if you're in a calorie deficit, that's pretty, like, that's good. Like in a calorie deficit, you don't want to be doing more than 1 to 2 pounds a week. So I'm really happy with that. I have been dealing with some of what is it? I'm trying to move more to prevent the potential muscle loss, because when you're in a calorie deficit, if you do not utilize your muscles and if you're not constantly training your muscles and doing resistance and strength training, your body by default will consume your muscle before it consumes the fat, which is really fucked up, but whatever. So I'm trying to move more and do strength and resistance training and physical therapy and things like that to prevent the potential muscle loss. I'm also prioritizing protein. That's one of the other things about when you do a calorie deficit is that because your muscles are made of protein, your body seeks out the source of protein first because that's what it needs for fuel. So if you're not prioritizing protein and you're not moving your muscles and like constantly training them, your body will default to just eating the muscle first. And obviously, I don't want to lose muscle tone. I want my body to eat the fat, not the muscle. So I'm moving more, eating more protein, prioritizing fiber because of how the GLP-1 works, um, to mitigate a lot of stuff. Um, I've experienced a little bit of symptoms in the first 4 weeks, or first 4 doses. The first week I didn't really have any. The second week I had a little bit of nausea, 1 or 2 days. Um, GLP-1 constipation is real. It's a serious thing. It's not fun. Um, Fiber is my best friend. Fiber electrolytes are my best friend. Speaking of electrolytes, take a little electrolyte break. Drink your water, guys. Drink. This is your reminder. Drink your water. Yeah, but I figured out caffeine. Um, Caffeine's a diuretic. If you didn't know that, especially if you consume a lot of it. It's why like coffee makes you want to go to the bathroom. It's because it's caffeine's a diuretic. Um, so on top of like electrolytes, because of not consuming as much food, I also take in caffeine, a certain amount of caffeine, to help with general digestion issues. Um, I have had in the last week some eating repulsion. Like the idea of eating just kind of makes me like, oh, I don't wanna, which is really odd for me, considering how much food noise I used to have prior to the medication. Um, the time, the 24 hours before my next shot is also different. So like week 1, the 24 hours before shot number 2, I experienced a lot of the food noise. Like, the food noise just came roaring back, and I was just ravenous, and I was thinking about food the whole damn day up until we got home and did the shot again. And um but then like week 2, that 24 hours before the next shot was a bit easier to handle. And then this past week, I didn't really have any of that. So it kind of, as it built up in my system, it's kind of compounding. So I'm not having that 24 hours before my next dosage. Um, where my body's like, we're hungry again. Like, it's not thinking about that, which is really nice. But that does result in like the day after my shot, like, you know, literally yesterday, the idea of eating lunch, I was just like, and then meh, because like as it is, I ate breakfast like 3.5, 4 hours after I got up. And it was a struggle to finish. And then I was like, oh, in an hour, I'm supposed to take my lunch break and I have to eat something for lunch. And I really did not want to eat. I still made myself something to eat, but I didn't finish it. I was in no way like, I in no way wanted to finish it. Um, and then like I had a small snack like 4 or 5 hours later. Like my portion sizes have dropped significantly. My want for carbs is like gone. Um, Literally the last time, like today was my normal lunch date with my husband. The last time we went on our lunch date, I had just started the medication, and it literally completely changed the speed at which I ate while we were at lunch. So I'm really curious how it's going to affect today, being 4 weeks later. Um, but overall, it's not too terrible. I am kind of kicking myself for not trying it sooner. Because it's, as I've said before, like, things are a lot easier when you have tools. They're much easier. It's way easier to weed the freaking yard if you have hand tools to remove shit instead of using your bare hands. Um, and that doesn't make me failure. It really doesn't. It just means that I like am using food to cope with a lot of stuff. And right now things are tumultuous, and I'll use that as a segue. So I think I talked about it last episode. My brother and sister-in-law are coming over because we're gonna have a talk about childhood and trauma and abuse and my brother doesn't remember our childhood like at all. So we're gonna have a serious conversation about all that stuff. And I have no expectations for how the conversation is gonna go, obviously. It's just gonna be four adults having a genuine conversation. It will be an uncomfortable situation, so I need to stock up on tissues. But I'm looking forward to like spending time with him and his wife in general. But also getting these things in the open and making them apparent and giving them the information. 'Cause that's all I can do is give them the information, and from there they can decide what they do with it. I'm still not speaking to my mom, which is really awkward because in a couple of weeks we're supposed to go see my grandparents for their 75th birthday. So yeah, it's still really awkward. I can't remember. When, yeah, literally. The day after the last episode, I saw her again, like in person. I hadn't seen her for months, and it was extremely awkward. Um, in the typical fashion of her family, she was acting like nothing had happened, like everything was fine, like the altercation with my husband did not happen. Um, like things were fine with me, and I was so stiff and so like, nope, I don't, nope. I avoided her most of the time that we were at the event. Yeah, it was awkward. It was very awkward. Luckily, she didn't stick around very long, but things are very awkward. And my therapist is seeing me a hell of a lot because of it, which is fine. That's what the therapist is for. I've been working with the same woman for 6 years now, and she kicks my ass, as I've said many times on this freaking podcast. Um, so yeah, yeah. So I'm okay. I'm okay. Like I'm not where I was last summer, guys. I'm not at all. It's different this time. It's like I'm not depresso this time. This time I'm revved up. I'm angry. This time I'm fiery. I'm fired up. I'm a true Aries. I'm fired up. I'm done taking shit, guys. I'm done taking shit. So, which just speaks to how far I've come in therapy and in processing all of my trauma and everything. So, which is good. Like process your shit, people. Process your shit. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. Um, the last little life thing, the garden is doing better. The garden is finally starting to flourish. We have itty bitty little tomatoes on like every single tomato, all 6 of the tomato plants. All the potatoes have popped through. The lettuce is starting to be happier. I started a whole new fertilizer regimen. We've got banana peppers that are ready. The cucumbers are getting taller. We have our first little baby bell pepper that's finally starting to come out. Our carrots sprouted by some miracle, because apparently carrots are hard to sprout, so we'll see if those do okay. My peas are really struggling, but I think that's because of I'm fairly certain there are weevils and aphids that are eating my peas. And also, unfortunately, because of the municipal compost soil mix that we got and filled our beds with, our beds are very wet. Like they do not really drain very well. Which is something we're gonna have to fix next year for sure. Like I already know that once the season is over, I will be probably easily removing the like first 6 inches of those beds. Like the first 6 inches will get removed and filled with some really good soil for the following year. Or I might wait until like the spring to do that. But yeah, I'm not happy with how the municipal stuff has worked out at all. And I know the top like 6 inches is all that the plants need. So I'll be switching to some really good bagged soil for that 6 inches, and everything that 6 inches that's removed from the beds will like just get spread in the yard as like a leveling, I guess. That's about it. It did really good for like the grass because we replanted our entire little front lawn, and the grass seed took really well in that stuff. So I think it's just specifically the garden plus the bags that we put on the top like 2 or 3 inches of the beds contained a contain like coconut husk or biochar is what it's called, and it's just soaking up all the nutrients before it could get to the plants. So we've been like overloading the biochar, as it were, so that it's like absorbed too much and it can't absorb anymore, and that leaves the other nutrients for the plants. So there's that. But yeah, it's doing okay. Like, not like the only thing that's died is an oregano, which is fine. Like, I'm not mad about a freaking herb dying. Um, yeah, it's fine. Like everything's doing decent. Um, we might be able to like pull our first radishes next week, which would be really cool. Um, like some of the succession plantings have not worked, but that's okay. I can push those, like, and like remove whatever's in that spot if it didn't take very well, and plant a new succession in like a couple of weeks when we start getting into the cooler weeks. And that's fine. Like, that's literally fine. Um, yeah. But like a lot of what we're gonna see in terms of the fruits of our labor is likely going to end up being in like September. Like I would expect probably late August, early September, maybe mid-September, we'll actually get to like really see the fruits of our labor and really get to get all the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the peppers and all those things, which is fine. Like that's what happens when you start your garden like a month and a half, 2 months after your first frost date. Like we're behind. We're behind, and then we had 3 weeks of stunted growth because of the biochar, which is fine. Um, as long as we get better, it's fine. Um, but I am way over for time, so I need to get going, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you like were doing some crafting along with me while I was talking. Um, let me know in the comments, what are you making? Like, what are you making? How is your are you stashing down? If you aren't, what are you buying? Like, I want to know what's going on with what you guys are doing. So let me know down in the comments. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all the jazz. And I will see you guys next month. Bye.